Hey, okay, so I wanted to talk about something. Um, I really need to read all these books, but that'll take a while before and then I'll probably continue to skim over them and to refresh, and to come back to them as a refresher, and I'm probably going to expand my library. But just from like what I learned from this book, um, I learned that I'm not completely sure how accurate that is to certain other practices or traditions as to how the Kabbalah is used, but I've learned that my magic system with the Kabbalah and other things, my personal magic system, which involves or includes the Kabbalah and certain other things, is slightly different from that and possibly other things. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about how I do before or how I know it and everything, and to kind of give more of like expand on how mine is as a precursor to actually diving into the Kabbalah and other magic systems and high magic and other things like that, for how those things are actually supposed to work outside of my magic system. So, without further ado, I like to think of myself as the Grand Master, but always in like, I think that everybody should be in the mode of self-improvement and striving to be the best version of yourself. I think that you should live by virtues. Look up the definition, pause this, look up the definitions of these, and those virtues, living by those virtues, striving to be a better person, treat others the way you want to be treated, be a good person, have manners, like your mannerisms, your behavior, and I think that those are important. But for the Kabbalah and my magic system and my version of high magic and the different knowledge that I have, sort of like in this piece of art that I made with this as a mirror, or like you're facing another person for the left and right, and then this is as though you're facing it forward to yourself, like this is your left, this is your right, and this art piece that I made encompasses like more of like, from what I know of it, and like and is also very similar to another piece of art that has something similar. The key takeaway from that one is the pillars to the sides of you, and the wand and kether above, and God. This art that I made, as you can see, my arms are stretched up high here and here and here and here, and then sort of like an Indian sort of a way. My arms are to the top, facing towards Kether, and I am praying. And then I have around me the Kabbalah, and then I also added burgundy and light blue right here, and with them encased in this hexagrammic over the Kabbalah around where you are, and then you as the nun praying here. And then to the sides you can see the three to the top, and then the four in between, to either side in between, the further to the right and left. But the importance of these colors, I think, and these are the actual colors that are used, but for me, I think that they are used, or that they are to be represent, or from what I learned from like with this sort of thing, chakras and mudras and mantras. This one's more important than this one, but being able to vibe with these, especially this part right here, and then to have this built up like full of virtue and goodness, this heroic energy, this love, this godly prayer energy that comes from the heart and your center and rises up to your crown chakra, and like with your praying. But these colors, with especially with the prominent colors being left being red and then right being blue, are I like to think of them a little bit from what I learned from the colors from this book years ago, which I bought for myself. But like these the red, blue, white, and yellow in the Dr. Taylor Hartman's People Code, which has which talks about motive and like things about the people who, and he labeled the different parts of like types of people that he imagines as different colors. And then he goes on in his next book to talk about how like you should embody like really good characteristics, become charactered, and like and to embody the best parts of each of the colors. And that is what I strive for in this. I am currently in my life, I'm more in the Burgundy area. And this area right here, this is knowing and understanding, and that could be interpreted with slightly different words. But I have meditated, and in meditation, I have gone up into this universe-like space up in the Void and Kether area, which is where the Akashic records lie, and where all manifestation and praying and communicating, or rather not communicating, but just being one with God and being a man of God and loving and walking with God and being surrounded by this Kabbalistic knowledge and stuff. But as for the colors, I like to think of the red and blue and then the white and the yellow. I take inspiration from Dr. Taylor Hartman's People Code, and then the other thing that I take inspiration from the colors is number one is like I do research on what each of the Sephiroth, or not Sephiroth, I'm not sure if that's the word for it, but it's like each of the areas, the official areas, which is the black, the red, the orange, the green, the blue, the white, and the gray and the white and the black up at the top, and then this world area at the bottom, and then purple and magenta, and then other colors like pink and like every other color that imaginable that isn't a primary color on the Kabbalah. But I think that other than just like taking inspiration from the types of people, especially for the red and the blue, which are really important, I think, in the People Code, and what I take from that for the information. But then the other thing is how colors are used in certain heroic and anti-hero characters and other types of things in like ancient media with the green color, and then like just like all these old cartoons and things that are supposed to teach morals and values and other types of things with all these hidden that are supposed to teach kids to be good people, and like that being a good person is a good thing to do, to be. And then on top of the way those are used in certain types of media, and like how the hero always has the green eyes, which is kind of why I made Raven Shadow have green eyes, Psychic Magenta purple skin, and then the green hair, because green is below blue on the right, and the right side is the good, is like not the good side, but it's more of like the embodiment of the Raven Shadow character. But whenever it goes to the left, it sort of uses the whole thing in red, and it's a very powerful. And then the right is very control and amazing and awesome. And then other than the way characters are used in the Taylor Hartman color thing, is color theory, especially red and blue, which are the primaries for the left and right. I think that color theory on a lot of things, but not just focusing on color theory, but to mostly focus on the Jewish and the esoteric meaning of each area, other than just the color, but like what that's supposed to mean, and then associating that meaning and that philosophy and everything for each of the orbs or the areas of the different areas of the Kabbalah, and even the further to the left and to the right and the above and the below, for having a fuller understanding of the whole thing in more of the way that I've understood it, just from these little hidden clues that are around in various like wisdom and like quotes from like characters that are supposed to be wise and stuff and to teach good life lessons and stuff. But I'm going to be diving into magic systems and Kabbalistic things and spirituality, and like I'm going to be learning from these books that were recommended for like the words of the Buddha and the Dalai Lama, and I'm going to be meditating and stuff. But I just wanted to take a note on some of the beliefs that I have in my personal magic system, and like how all these colors are associated like with all my characters, and why I choose the colors that I do and why I make the art in the way that I do it. I think I explained pretty well where I draw a lot of the information on the different colors and this overall like angelic, like these two and this, especially these two and this one. These hand motions are like what a preacher does when he's praying, and then there's like church prayer and stuff, and like hymns, like beautiful songs of like holiness and stuff. But that's my original stuff of high magic. But like the more traditional ways these sorts of things have been done, and the magic systems that are already in place, I'm going to be diving into those. But again, I wanted to talk about like what these colors mean to me, and what the Kabbalah means to me, and the magic system, like how you can pray, but also with believing in God, and in God we trust, and then praying like wholeheartedly and walking with God, and that sort of a way of high magic. And then also including the left and your own like Kabbalistic self and everything, and using your own like goals and habits and stuff in order to manifest yourself into like your best life. And you can have heaven on earth, but like manifesting the good things in your life that you want, and being full of gratitude, and all these great things for making things happen yourself, and attracting abundance and all these good things, like the law of attraction and stuff. But I think that before I go diving deep into all these other magic systems and stuff, I wanted to have a record of like the stuff I said at the beginning of this is sort of like a record of my full understanding and where my understanding comes from for my own version of this sort of thing, which I think is also used by other people. And since some of it is in media and stuff, like I think that some of these virtues and being a good person, just elders teaching important values and things to younger people to live by, and people like me who strive to be the best version of themselves, the best, most awesome version of yourself, and to and a life of self-improvement and and avoiding negativity and just living in positivity. I just wanted to take notes on some of these things that I want to reteach myself if I ever am forgetful, or if I ever get to dive too deep into other magic systems and maybe lose sight of like, or maybe want a note of like where my understanding first came from, if anything evolves as I continue on these different things that I'm learning.